This is Micheal Nwani, a Nigerian entrepreneur who is building one of Nigeria's largest animal farms, sitting on over 8 acres piece of land.
Farming is the future. There's no other way we're going to build Nigeria without food. So food security, whether in livestock production, in crop production, has to be guaranteed before we can start other areas of our, economic development, be manufacturing and everything else.
Based in Canada, he's still able to run a successful business here in Nigeria, even when he's not present.
Well, I couldn't do this kind of farming in Canada. Why? Because to do it, I'll have to learn the temperate weather ways of, doing livestock. But in Africa, I don't have to. And I've always been a farmer. So starting farming here is just like what I've always done growing up. So that's why I chose here. Plus, I wanted to give back some of the knowledge I've acquired over the years.
In today's video, he shares this inspiring story as a Nigerian living abroad and doing business here in Nigeria.
Trump challenged us, said, go build your country. That I want to partner with prosperous Nigeria. They know we have the potentials to be prosperous. Nigeria is already blessed. But we're not working at it. And nobody's going to do it for you. Trump is not going to do it for you. I thought to myself, we're a giant of Africa. I mean, that is who we are. And I said to myself, what did we really do as a nation to deserve it? God just bless us.
Get ready to learn from him, his experiences, challenges, and secrets behind his success.
So we need to come back home, build our country, start from your state, go to your village, do something. Doesn't matter.
So hello, sir.
Hey, Chidera,
It's nice meeting you once again.
Finally, after 3 years,
After 3 years of talking to each other online, I finally met him in person. So first of all, my audience don't know you. I would love you to introduce yourself to them.
Okay. Hi guys, my name is Micheal Nwani. I'm from Delta State. So this is Delta State, Nigeria. We're in Asaba. So this is my home. And
So this is your farm?
Yes, this is my farm.
And there's something that got me curious. You are not based in Nigeria?
I'm based in Canada.
You're based in Canada?
Yes.
But you own a farm in Nigeria?
In Nigeria, yes. Like you can see me dressed up as a carpenter.
Yeah.
So I do construction in Canada. I've always done construction. I've done construction in the UK, in the Caribbean, in Canada, everywhere. I've always been a contractor. So building stuff is something that comes natural for me. So I wanted to give back.
Okay.
Yeah, both in my skills and in my newly acquired skills of good farming. So those are some of the inspiration.
When I came to the farm, I saw you doing a lot of things. You were even barbing one of your workers' hair, and I was like, how do you get to do all these things? Wait, where did you learn all this stuff from? Barbing, carpentry, welding, like where did you learn it from?
One is a gift. Okay. For barbing, I developed my barbing skills as a student in University of Guinea. Okay. So I was a barber on campus. So I saw myself through school as a barber.
Oh,
yes. Okay. So I barbed all my years on campus. I was a barber, so that's my skill. But I'm retired from barbing. I don't barb anymore. Though I have a salon in Canada right now, but I don't barb anymore. I have it as a business. I still barb for just as a hobby.
Okay.
Yeah. So what I do mostly now is I work as a contractor. I build houses. So my carpentry skills started as a child. I was just curious. I just love playing with wood. But my interest was piqued when we did our introduction to technology way back in, I think it was 1990.
1990?
We're in JSS3. Yeah,
I'm not sure I was born then.
No, you were not born. So we're introduced to technology, introduction to technology. And for those of my classmates, you will remember this Ben Nwadeshi was our introduction to technology teacher. And it took us to my school, St. Anthony's College, was used as a demonstration school for technology, for carpentry. So first time seeing a miter saw was in St. Anthony's College. And I was blown away. I mean, we went through it. This is another wrong way of teaching. We were not allowed to touch it because one, our teacher didn't know how to operate it. So we're just to sketch it and walk around it. And to me, I just wanted to hold this machine. And that was where I just figured, I'm going to do this. Yeah, so I never stopped doing woodwork, building cages. In JSS3, I was already doing my poultry farming, building cages myself. Yeah, because we couldn't afford to get a carpenter, so I would build it myself. So I've always worked with tools, so I developed my skills. So getting to the UK, I had to challenge it. So there you're allowed to, given the opportunity to challenge based on your experience, and you're awarded the ticket So I got that in Canada after years of, doing it, learning from my contractors that worked for me. So that's how the skill came about. Yeah.
So why did you decide to invest into agriculture? What inspired agriculture? Like, how did you come about this whole thing? Because this is a really big farm, and I can see you do a lot. You know a lot about these animals.
Yes.
I want to know how you got to learn about them while working over there, and also how you get to juggle between Canada and owning a farm in Nigeria.
Okay.
Yeah.
Juggling between Canada and Nigeria is it's been a steep learning curve.
Okay.
But it just goes to say, when you have a will to do something, there's always a way. So you fine tune your process. So how I do it is just a remote, management, where I request my workers show me videos and pictures of their work done.
Okay.
Then I started studying about goats in. I've always had goats, but when I studied about boar goats, was during COVID.
Okay.
So when
that means the farm hasn't stayed for long like that.
No, this is our 3rd year, going into 4 years now.
Oh.
Yeah, MDNI farm was launched in 2021, November 26th.
Okay.
Yeah, was when we started.
Okay.
Yeah, so when I got to know about boar goats, that they were bred in early 19th centuries by Dutch farmers in South Africa. They bred them from Kiko goat, which is an originally a European goat.
Yeah.
We still have the Kiko goats, by the way. So their large horns came from the Kiko genetics, or the Kiko genes, and they were bred from the local indigenous goats in South Africa, just like we have the West African dwarf, the Sahelian goats, and the Sokoto red. So when they bred them to pedigree, they gave them this name called boar. Boar means in Dutch farmers. So that's how this name came. These animals never, existed. So someone produced it and gave it the name. So I thought to myself, if the government is not doing something like this, I could try it. Get them to a pedigree, and we'll figure the name after that. Maybe we'll name it Michael. I don't care. We did it in chicken, poultry. We can do it in small ruminants. Our brothers in the north, they are making good effort in large ruminants, but nobody's really paying attention to small ruminants. Yeah. And we in the south, we love small ruminant goats. We eat a lot of goat meat. Okay. In fact, I could say, 80%, 70 to 80% of goat produced in Nigeria, in the north, are consumed in the south. So anyways, those were my inspiration behind, MDNI farm, starting out with, goats. Now, it's not just that we're going to be limited to small ruminants, but I figured you want to do something, be good at it. Yeah. Let's perfect this goat, explore the value chain of goat, small ruminants, then maybe after a while go into larger ones. Now, our footprint is not much. We're just sitting on 8 acres. For me, doing things the right way means I will compete with international standard. 8 acres can only allow you to have about 10, 12 cows. Okay. Yes. 1 cow needs about 3 acres to thrive. Oh. Do we listen to that in Nigeria? No, nobody gives a fuck. But that is the standard, and you're supposed to have your own pasture. Not messing around like we're cavemen. On the streets, say you're grazing, open grazing. So those were some of the reasons why I wanted to start this, to show our people, to teach them that actually you can do your own goat farming in your own land without being a nuisance and a menace to other people around. And that's why all our land is fully fenced, our pastures are fully fenced, and we graze inside our land. We don't go roaming around. And we have another pasture field in another location where we have we just acquired about 3 more acres this year. So we're looking at almost 12 acres now of just pasture.
So, can you advise those people in the diaspora to invest into farming here in Nigeria while they are not present?
I think that's the dream of everyone abroad. Going into farming. Yes, and you're going to see a lot of shift this year. US challenged us. I don't know if most people took it personally, but I think they did, because I've been talking with a lot of people. Okay. A lot of Nigerians abroad, they want to give back. All right. And this is what I always tell people, especially my workers when they're messing around. We're not working our butts off, and wanting to come to Nigeria to waste it. We want to give back. At the same time, everybody wants to be successful at whatever they do. All right. So being successful at what you do means you demand results. You're putting in your hard-earned money here, which is the dream of everybody. They want to come back home and say, this is what I'm doing to give back to my people, to create employment in my nation, to help develop my economy. All right. Because nobody's going to do it for us. Grass. These are brachiaria grasses. Do you know we buy this from the north? And I tell my people, you can farm this. You know how much a bale of brachiaria grass sells for? Those big bags, I bought them for 20,000 each. All right, and I bought 110 bags. Calculate, do the math, at 20,000 for one. A farmer farming this in Delta State, even if there's no market, I will buy it all. And I know about 6 farms in Delta State around here that will demand for this.
These grasses.
Oh yes.
So you just planted all this for the goods?
Yes.
How big is this place?
This is 2 acres.
Here and here, 2 acres.
Yes.
Wow.
So, and we have 6 acres in the back. All right. So these are all brachiaria grasses. We have 3 varieties of brachiaria grasses here. We have the Movarum, which is the most improved variety in the market right now. Yeah. All right. So we have those. Yeah. So this is yard pasture. Okay. This is where we graze mostly our exotic animals because we don't want them going in the back. So this section is where we have our quarantine animals. Okay. Yeah, so we're using this paddock for them, and that's the quarantine. So goats need exercise every day. So and having them exercising and just being free helps them flourish. Oh, okay. If you lock up goats, they tend to be depressed, and there's a term we use called wasting away. Unlike maybe sheep or cow, where you just lock them up and feed them, goats don't do well, being deprived of mobility. They want to move around, they want to be free, they want to explore their options because they are browsers, they're not grazers. So when you give them like one food to eat, one grass, they tend to be dull and happy. They will see the grass will be the last thing they want to eat. If you have bitter leaf here, moringa, they will go for those. They want to reach out for things on top. They want to browse it. They want to climb and get their food than eating grasses. So, but when in absence of none, then you see them just eat grass. Unlike cows and sheep, which are grazers, they just bend their face down and they're grazing. Goats are not like that. And goats, watch them. They come in, they pick the tops. They're not going to just be munching on grasses like that. They're going to be picking around it. They want to roam around. That's why you see them crossing this gate. They want to go explore. They could walk down to pasture 6, picking. And what are they going to be picking? They're going to be picking leguminous fodders like glycidia, moringa, bitter leaf, and stuff like that. Okay, so these are our turkeys that we put on like a mini project. Okay. They feed on basically Azola and Azola with BSF, black soldier flies. That's all. We don't feed them anything commercial. So they're scratching, they enjoy scratching, and they're not up to 3 months. Yeah.
The turkeys are not up to 3 months?
No.
Wow.
Yeah, they're doing so well. Okay. Yeah, we have 18 of them. And we're bringing in 140. And I want to do it only organic feed. So this is why we're preventing them from coming in here. These animals are in quarantine. So when we're done quarantining these animals, we're gonna fumigate this place. Okay. Because this is one of our pastures. We call this pasture 6. Okay. Yes. So these are newly acquired breeding does for our crossbreeding program. Yeah. And
so these animals that you are keeping on quarantine, are they sick or you just brought them in?
Yeah, we just brought them in. We just acquired them. Okay. So we observe them for any disease conditions, and why we separate them is so that they don't cross contact. You see that one flies? Yeah. That's PPR. See? Okay. Whenever they have this smell, flies perching on their nostril, that's a sign of PPR. Okay. Yeah. So PPR comes with diarrhea, it's just sick, stinky. So if we let this stay with this, it's going to infect this. And this is even too close. This is less than 6 feet. To try to isolate them so that if I could lose one and end there, it's better for me
so
than
you guys tie it
on purpose.
Oh,
so they don't eat together. They don't.
Together.
There's no cross contamination of their feed or drink, because PPR is a viral disease. So their water and their feed, that is the source of it. So when you go to the market to pick up goats that you want to start breeding, you see that they are feeder. That's PPR guaranteed. Okay, yes, that's PPR there. So when you pick it up, you hear people say, oh, I bought them, they were very healthy, but now they're all sick. Yes, they took it from that feeder, or they are the drinker. So if you could get straight from farm to your farm, it's better, but you still don't put them inside your flock. Quarantine them for 21 to 30 days. We do 30 days. So if this one eventually dies, I'm okay. After I got them from the market, this is part of our dream, our vision to stop it. That you want to start your breeding program, you don't go to the market to buy goods. Like I was saying earlier, there's no single farm in Nigeria where you can go and say, hey, I want 40 goats, and they have it to supply you. There's none.
Really?
Yes.
40
anyone check? Yes.
40 pure breeds.
Yeah. Whether pure breed, local, local goats are still pure.
Okay.
They are pure, means is unadulterated. Is a local goat, you're a pygmy goat, you're a West African dwarf, you're a West African dwarf, you're Sokoto red, you're Sokoto red. Crossing means now you cross with something else.
Okay.
And now it's no longer pure. So these are pure local goats.
Yeah.
They are good the way they are. It's just that for our meat purposes, these are not viable option.
Okay.
Boer goats were raised to become the largest meat goat in the world. So you've seen their depth, their length. They mature in 6 to 8 months. These guys will take 2 years. So for you now, a young guy that wants to go into goat farming and you're waiting on 2 years to make profit or to get any return on your investment, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But if you can notice that if you do boer goats, you can start getting incomes within your first year and a half or the first year, it makes more sense.
Yeah.
And this is why, boer goats is a more viable option everywhere in the world.
So when one hear you saying, like, calling prices for these goods, like 1.2 million, 1.5 million, that's more than like $1,000.
Yes,
one goods
between $1,200 to $1,500.
Okay, why are these goods this expensive? Because I feel like people need to know.
Well, because that is the minimum cost for bringing them into Nigeria to one on board.
Okay,
so between $1,900 and $2,100 is what it costs right now. That's $1,900 US dollars and $2,100 US dollars. So, but we're trying to bridge that gap. So you don't have to go to South Africa. So, can we give the same value here in Nigeria locally? That is what MDNI Farm stands for, to help people get these breeds locally without having to do to South Africa and break it back. Yeah.
So these are pure breeds.
These are full blood.
Okay.
So, Thor, you saw Thor. Thor is a stud Kalahari red. So Thor is being put to breed these local goods to produce F1s. Okay, because Thor served last season. Yeah. So now we're using Rambo, which is the second stud buck that we have, Kalahari stud buck.
Yeah.
So we have 4 of them actively serving right now as sires. So so Thor is here right now. So Thor's son is Hector. Hector is on the other side.
Okay.
Still doing the same thing, yes.
I'm going to take a look at him.
Okay, at Hector.
Okay.
So you're going to see the similarities between Hector and Thor. Yeah, Hector is just about 16 months, going to almost 2 years old now.
But I started breeding.
He started breeding, yes. So, come on, Hector. Stop.
Hector.
Yes, he's the son of Thor.
Okay, Thor, the other one.
Yeah, the big one. That's the father. So he was born in this farm. Yeah.
This is really big.
So he's about 2 years old now. Yeah, close to 2 years.
Like, how many kg is this goods?
Should be over 100.
100 kg?
Yeah, it should be over 100. Alright, so you see the depth? He's a young buck.
Yeah.
So he's got the depth, not much the length as the father.
Yeah.
But he's got the depth. and it's got the thickness. Yeah.
So how often do you visit Nigeria?
Last year I was only able to come here once.
Once?
Yeah, last year.
And
actually not once. That was one time in 18 months.
One time in 18 months?
Yes. But I'm resolved now. I'm going to try to be here as frequent as possible.
Okay.
As frequently as possible. So if I could come in here, Hector. If I could come in every quarter, that will help a long time. Pushing what I'm doing. So I left here December 5th. And I came back because I wanted to complete some of the projects I was handling. Like, watch this. This was all done last year, destroyed by erosion. Because my downspout was out, and despite me telling my managers to fix it, not that the money wasn't there, he never did, and that caused erosion. Then I eroded this part of the pen, and a lot of the water was staying under the tank. You know how much havoc that caused me? Problems. Now, you don't do this with your box. You turn them into a pet when you encourage this. So now he's bucking me. This is wrong. All right? Stop it. All right. So, Hector.
I want to know the challenges. You, as someone who is outside Nigeria, you're in Canada, you're based in Canada, or you own a farm in Nigeria, what are the challenges that you face? So people who want to go into it, who like are in the diaspora, who want to go into farming in Nigeria, also get note of these things, so they get to, it doesn't take them unawares.
Yes. Well, the Nigerian factor is what I would call it. Yeah, the human factor, working with Nigerian professionals in quote, getting the right people with the right experience and dedication has always been the bane of what we do here. But, from my experience, I figured out that most farm managers or people that studied agricultural sciences and specialize in livestock, most of them didn't intentionally go into it. So when they're on the field, you see them exhibiting zero passion for what they do. For this animal to thrive, especially goats, I don't know about other livestock, other ruminants, goats need you to show them love, and it's that love that will make you go out of your way to care for them. And this is the greatest challenge. So they think of agriculture as a quick a shortcut to getting wealthy, something. So you, from all intentions or the way that you see them act, they don't really care. They're just looking for an easy way out. Okay. Some just want to bankrupt your farm and run with your money. They have no interest in what they are doing. And that's been the challenge so far. It doesn't just cut across the professionals, even the unskilled workers or the laborers, the workforce. It's still the same thing. You can't get reliable people to work in the pastures for you. No matter how much money you spend bringing them, pay their transportation, they just don't want to do it. And they feel agriculture is not rewarding enough. I think that's what I would say. So they want to, as much as possible, just sit down and don't do any work and get paid. So these are the challenges you face, especially when you're not here. Now, how have I been able to figure this out? When I'm here, they work. But when I'm not here, especially areas that my camera does not cover, they don't do any work.
So you have CCTV camera?
I have CCTV on every part. You look around, that's a camera there.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, every pen has a camera. Every pen. The maternity pen has 3. So I watch everywhere. The playgrounds have camera. I see everything.
You watch it from my phone?
From my phone, yeah. And I can talk to you from there. Hey, what are you doing? But behind these walls, oh my goodness, like we just went through the pastures. A lot of things done wrong, intentional. Not that they don't know what to do. We just don't do it. Yeah, because I'm not here. Yeah, so those are the challenges. But because you want to do this, you first will want to do this. You need to get around it. And how have I been able to get around it? At least to a large extent. I won't say 100%. Yeah, to a large extent, is using phones remotely to, demand for reports. So you need to have a good manager who will work with you, not working with the workers against you, because at times they could gang up against you, and they'll show you what you want, what they want you to see.
and they won't show you everything. So you need to be able to decipher that and be able to get around it. Now is to ask for specific questions and demand specific answers. So this has been the way we've been able to stay this long. So we're 3 years now, going into 3 years and some months.
Yeah.
So 3 years and 2 months actually. So I believe, we're here to stay.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's gonna continue getting better. So part of what we've done now is to assign smartphones to every worker. So you report your job. Yeah, so I check all their jobs. So if you walked in the pasture, we have a standard measurement to measure the field.
Okay.
And you are assigned one job a day, apart from your routine task. So your routine task would be like feeding, watering the animals, cleaning the pen, cleaning the drinkers and the feeders. Those are routine. You do that twice a day. In addition to that, you are assigned one task. For those in the pastures, they either clear or weed, or they harvest, or they plant. So we share a portion. So while contractors are helping us out, we're equally coming in behind them to add manure to the soil. We don't pay contractors for that. That's our job. We take up our manure and go in the field and spread it. So that has been how far we've managed both the pasture and the husbandry. So for the husbandry guys, they do one thing a day. So we have different management activities that we do, like spraying the goats, hoof trimming, deworming, whatever it is we're going to do. Yeah. So we do one task per day, apart from like vaccination that comes routinely. So these are some of the problems we deal with. They don't do their job, with integrity. So it's still a Nigerian thing. It's not just, where they don't understand that it is not dignified, or it removes your dignity as a human being to be watched to do your job like you're a slave or an animal. Yeah. As someone being paid to do a job, you should honestly do your job. Okay? Yes, whether someone is watching or not. And we profess to be religious people. Okay? Christians. Yet, if the boss is not here to yell at you or police you, they don't do their job. That is wrong. You should have that honor to do your job, that this is what I'm paid for. Let me do it. What if it were mine? Simple question. Yeah. If it's yours, will you treat it this way? If the answer is no, then do what is right. Besides, this is the only way we're going to help build our country. Like I said earlier in the video, nobody's going to come build Nigeria for us. This is our Nigeria. There's no other Nigeria. This is ours. And this is our time. Our time is going to soon fade away. What are we going to be remembered for? Our legacy. The things you did that impacted your nation. The things you did that helped, chart the course of our nation. So they think it's only politics. No. You don't have to be a politician to make an impact. They just do small good fun. Do it once.
So currently, how many breeds of goats do you have in this farm? And how many goats do you have?
We're approaching 260 right now.
Okay.
Yeah, we have 2 breeds of goats. Because yes, we have our crossbreeding program, which is on its way. We're still working on that, but we major on Boer goats and Kalahari Reds. Yes, so we have 5 genetic lines, 3 Boer genetic lines and 2 Kalahari Red genetic lines. And from those 2 lines, we've gotten, for the Boer, we have 2 replacement bucks, and we have 1 from the Kalahari. That's Hector, the one I showed you.
Yeah.
So Hector is the son of Thor. All right.
Hector, then Thor. Thor is the father.
Thor is the father. Okay. Thor is the one in pen B, and Hector is the one in pen A.
Okay.
Yes. But we have a software that we use for our breeding programs, so to avoid line breeding and crossbreeding and inbreeding. Sorry, not crossbreeding.
Yeah.
The first generation are breeding stock. Remember, there are 5.
Okay.
So we use them to cross the parent does, and we've created 3 genetic lines from them. Okay, so we're going to be out of option after this kidding season. So after this kidding season, our parent genetic breeding box will not be able to produce the second generation.
Okay.
They can only continue with the first, which is the one they came with. Yeah, so those replacement dose, like the ones I've showed you, we'll now have to get another buck for them. If not, we're going to be producing the same line of genes.
Okay. So I want us to talk about like a system of, let's say, profitability, so people get to understand how profitable this goat farming is. So I want you to take us through, let's say you have 10 females and let's say 1 buck.
Okay.
What is going to be the amount of kittens they're going to give you in a year, and how much can you make from that?
If you want to consider the way we've started at MDNI farms and the kind of infrastructure we put in place, you'll be able to break even within 2 to 3 years of your initial investment. Now, the numbers, I don't want to just give tentative numbers. I need to be accurate when I give numbers. So, but is goat farming profitable? Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes, if you have it done the right way. Goats could be bred twice in a year or 3 times in 2 years.
Okay.
If you don't follow those breeding patterns, you might not make it. Then again, if you're producing your own hay, you're producing your own feed, then it minimizes your cost of production. But if you're having to buy, they will eat up your cost, or they will, eat up your profit, and now you're not making anything. So now that 2 to 3 years becomes something that now could be questioned. All right. So, but overall, the goat farming business is a very lucrative business. Why? It's very simple. A goat can give you minimum 1 kid at their first year. Once they get into their second and third year, they give you multiple. At times twins, times triplets. Now, and they keep twice a year. So meaning from 1 goat, you get up to 4 kids in a year. 3 to 4. 3 to 4 after 1 year. Right? Okay. So if you sell that for full bloods in Nigeria, the cheapest full blood in Nigeria is 1.2 million. The cheapest.
1.2 million?
Yes.
For the brown goat?
Yes. Some sell 1.8, some even sell 1.9, but the cheapest that I've offered, I've sold 1.2. All right, and it was like a promotion. Okay. So imagine now you sell 3 from 1 doe in a year, or 2. Let's even say 2, because we need to consider mortality factors as well. Now, one thing I've come to prove: the Boer goats and the Kalaharis are hardier than our local goats. Some people want to question it, but especially with the crosses. So the crosses, they are more susceptible to diseases than the full blood. Okay. The full blood are hardier than our crosses, and we tend to record more mortalities with the crosses compared to the full blood.
How do you think, or what do you think we can do to move Nigeria forward in the agricultural sector?
Let's start with this. Okay. Yeah, one is being more efficient with what we do. Efficiency is about we optimizing our systems. So all our local system, cruise systems, we need to learn, see what Chinese are doing. Okay, let's not even go to America. America is more mechanized. Okay, but if you watch the Philippines, if you watch China, they are manufacturing smaller equipment, farm implements, farm equipment. Those farm equipments are kind of miniaturized sizes compared to what America does in terms of planters, harvesters. If we cannot buy an equipment of $140,000, can we buy one of $2,000? That is what China brings to the table. And my take is this: we can start by importing the motors for these machines and fabricate them locally, like a tiller. We can fabricate that. It's just 15 horsepower motor, and we can fabricate that ourselves here locally in Nigeria. Can we start from there by mechanizing small sections of what we're doing? Now, for goats, number 1, there are 3 pillars to goat farming or goat genetic improvement. One is the genetics. You bring the genetics, which Nigeria, we've always done that, but we don't manage it. We just go to South Africa, bring some of these goats and give it to an Fulani boy that can barely say good morning in English. So what does he know about genetics? What does he know about breeding? What does he know about selection? So this is what Nigeria had done before now.
Yeah.
So, but good news, which you would have observed, Southerners are now stepping into breeding. Okay, so I tell people this, in the near future, I'm not talking 20 years, I'm talking the next 3 years. When you want to talk about good genetics or livestock production, say go south. Yeah, we're changing the narrative. Yeah, I know what I'm doing here. The only problem I have is I can't be in Nigeria full time. If I could be in Nigeria full time, taking these animals to pedigree shouldn't exceed 4 years. Breeding them to a 6th generation with all these are local goods. So you see, we have a cross section of Wad, Sokoto Red, and Sahel. Okay. And we're crossing them with our Boer goods and our Kalahari Reds. Now you have to breed them to a 6th generation to get a pedigree. Okay. And what does that mean? You take a local goods like a local Sahel, you cross with Hector. Which is what we're doing here. We produce F1. Yeah. You take those F1s, cross again with another full blood like Hector. Doesn't have to be Hector. Another full blood. Hector's other brothers. We produce an F2. You take those F2 and repeat the same process. You're just rinsing and repeating to a 6th generation. You get a pedigree. So that pedigree is going to be the same full blood, pure blood as the father, 100%. And now, there are two sides of it. The genotype, the phenotype. Not only are they going to have the phenotype, which you're already having at F1. That's the color, the coat, look brown, red-brown. And they're not going to have the same gene. So that is number 1, genetics. 2, nutrition. This is Hector. Despite my best effort, it's not as big as his dad. But here's my consolation. When South Africa first bred these goats, they said the biggest was 35 kg. So what did they do to change it? Nutrition. This is where I tell my workers we need to spend time to understand nutrition. And the third one.
Hector, what is it?
Hector, stop it.
He likes play so much.
I thought they do it.
He's just disturbing me, man. Okay.
So the third one is the management, where we struggle the most. We need to get passionate about what we're doing. Enjoy the process. It's not easy. You can't be in the farm and want to be in Asada. Yeah. You can have a commercial farm in the city. That would be a server. The only question is, can we have the basic necessities of life that you would need to function in a modern society? Internet, water, the rest, secondary. Have water, you have internet, you have light. What else do you need? You know you're in a remote area, so you condition yourself. Am I going to be here every 3 months, every 20 days, whatever it is? Can we give that time and do this? Because again, we have to do this. It's ours. All right, nobody's going to come and grow Nigeria for us. You still have to do this nation. What you're doing, Chidera, challenging ourselves. Can we produce quality video that can compete in the world stage? We've done it in music. We can do it everywhere else. So we can say, his livestock production is different. What is different about it? Roll the camera. Understand that what I'm doing, these feeders are designed. The whole world will see it. Okay? And they're going to learn. Would they be inspired to learn? What idea? Why did I put this picture? You notice the pictures that I'll put in here. Is to make sure none of them falls up inside. So it helps with feed management. This is management we're talking about. So they can only get 8 inches apart, 7 inches apart, and their head fits it. All right?
Yeah.
That is why we created this.
So, what's gonna be your advice to those outside the country who are planning on or who have the vision of investing in Nigeria in the agricultural sector?
Do it. Do it. 2 things you need to do before you start though. You need to get the education. Then source for the right breeds of animal. Don't think you're going to commit your investment to some graduate from nowhere. You have to learn about your business. And this is where most people struggle. They think I can just pay people and they do it for me. No. At times I'm the vet in the farm. Remotely from Canada. You tell them what to do. So you need to know your animals. Bottom line, you need to understand your business. So can you succeed with it? Excellently. Exactly, yes. All right. But you have to have these fundamentals. You have to be resolute in your determination. You have to first have the passion that this is really what I want to do. Okay, is it profitable? Yes, it's perfectly profitable venture. All right, like we discussed before, one goat can produce for you over a period of 8 to 12 years if well managed. So you recover your money first to three kidding, the rest are just profit, return on your investment over and over and over again. And the older they get, especially when they prime, and they are prime for those, I would say between 3 and 4 years. That's their peak. So at that time they give you consistently multiple kids. So some will give you triplets. Yeah, multiple kidding once they are in their prime, in the peak of their production cycle, and where they just consistently gain based on genetics and nutrition. So right now we started getting triplets in our flock. Before it was just two twins, but now triplets is becoming common, and that's because they are picking up. So when they peak, so all those are your return on your investment. Your investment are the breeding stock. Return on investment are your kids. So managing them well, which again Nigerians are struggling, because actively now we're going into good production, good farming. Last kidding season, especially when we kid in the rainy season, comes with a lot of challenges, especially for those of us in the south. We've been able to do a couple of things to curb that. One is building an active nursery where we kid, and having a temperature controlled environment to prevent the kids from hypothermia helps. And again, hygiene. A sanitized environment is always a healthy place to raise any animal. So we try to keep it clean, and so that helps your survival rate of those kids. And again, those are your return on investment.
Okay. So for those of you guys watching,
capture Hector.
It's all around the place. So for those of you guys watching, if you want to buy goods, hit them up. MDNI farms, they are really, really good pure breeds of wild goats and
Kalahari Reds.
Yeah, so hit them up. And thank you for watching this video. Like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so that some other time when I post another video like this, you get notified to come and watch. Thank you once again. Do have a nice day, and until next time, as I always say, peace.